Good morning, strong women. Welcome back to Tuesday Talks with Teena. I'm your host, Teena, and we're doing a weekly intentional fitness focused self care. Each week, we're going to be taking inventory on our current habits and working on developing consistent routines to reach our health goals. And we're doing this all during our lunch break. And today, we're going to be talking about unapologetic about your workout schedule. We're going into week 14. But before we get going, we're going to go into our housekeeping. I am your host. I'm a business owner, certified trainer, and currently serving in the Air National Guard, and I'm an advocate for women finding balance. So a disclaimer, I am a certified personal trainer, but I am not a medical professional. So before starting any new fitness routine, I do advise that you consult with your primary care physician before starting any new fitness routine. Our funding disclaimer. Funding for this initiative is provided in part by Mission Ambition LLC and Teena Cathay Lifestyle and Fitness LLC. Also, we have many military women participating in this series, thanks to the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. Through the Community Mental Health Association of Michigan, they are providing additional funding for this initiative through a federal community mental health block grant and a substance abuse prevention and treatment block grant supporting women better and strong. Let's roll into our guidelines. We ask that you please be respectful, no selling or soliciting, and then no judging of anyone or yourself. So we are going to go over what we talked about last week briefly. We talked about saying no or letting go to what is not serving you. So we went into following up on our vision board. Some of us shared what those look like, the updates that we've done so far in our 4th month, I believe we're in. And then we talked about letting go of unhealthy habits and how to do that and why it's beneficial, and then how to break these habits. And we also touched on habits that we don't want to let go of, because you don't have to let go of anything to live a healthy lifestyle. It's just, you got to have some kind of balance. Lesson part 1, sticking to your workout schedule. So we're talking about being unapologetic about saying no this month in various forms. So now we're going to start off with talking about our workout schedule. I don't know about you, but I plan my life week by week. I kind of have a monthly forecast, but then if you ask me what I'm doing next week, I could not even tell you what that looks like. But what I do know is what I'm doing this week. And I try to plan that out over the weekend. So my workouts are at certain days and certain times. And that's so that way I don't put anything else or anyone else in that workout time, because I found that when I do, it is not pretty for anyone else. I'm very irritable. I'm very moody. Or if I go outside of that normal time slot, which for me is like a 9 a.m., 10 a.m. time slot, I'm out of whack, if that makes sense. I feel weird. So some of the things that I do is I put my phone on do not disturb. So that's something that you can do. If you have a music service that you're using, you can download the music. So then that way you won't need internet, because I believe if you put it on do not disturb, it's going to block your internet, but it's also going to block those calls from people. And again, I know that sounds very extreme, but you got to remember those 30 minutes, that 1 hour is blocked off for your time. Maybe it's just you just sitting watching your favorite show, or you just taking a mental health break. So your time is valuable. It's your time for a reason. Try to stick to that. So do not disturb is one thing that you can do to help with that. Look ahead when booking yourself. So hopefully we all schedule our doctor's appointments, our dentist appointments, and things like that. And a lot of these places, they'll just say, hey, can you come in at 12 noon on Tuesday? And you'll say, yes, I can do that, without looking at your schedule. And you might have something blocked off for you to do. Maybe it's a walk with a friend, or maybe it's the time that you take for yourself to do whatever it is that you need to do. Maybe it's you're wanting to sit down and relax and read a book during that time. So look ahead in your schedule when someone asks to be placed on your schedule. So then that way you're not either overbooking yourself or you're not overextending yourself, and then you're not overlapping and canceling out your you time. And then another thing that would help, so then that way, if you're not wanting to put your phone on do not disturb, let those closest to you, those that you know will be most likely to contact you, let them know. Say, hey, during this time between 10:30 and 11:30, please don't contact me unless it's an absolute emergency. Because I don't know about you, there's some people in my life that think everything's an emergency. So you got to be specific with them and let them know this time, don't call me, please don't text me. I'm doing A, B, C, D, whatever it is. So then that way they won't contact you. And you're also establishing and setting those boundaries, because those are definitely key in a relationship, right? And then honoring your own time, because again, your time is valuable. So with that being said, ladies, we're going to go into our first journal prompt. And the question is, do you often reschedule your workout time for others? And again, this can be for an appointment, or someone just says, I need you to go do this for me. And you just say, okay, even though you know you have that time blocked up for yourself. So do you often reschedule your workout time for others? And if so, why? We're going to take 2 minutes now.
Yes, I often reschedule because I want to spend time with others. And I've learned how to adapt various exercises at home. But 3 p.m. in the afternoon, like mid-afternoon, seems to be like my favorite time to exercise. I like to sleep in and get up late and then, have lunch or I should say brunch around noon, 2 o'clock. And then by 3 o'clock, my shake has digested and, but in the past, yeah, the totally not putting exercise first and thinking that what others had going on or wanted to share with me was more important than that. And yeah, so I paid the price on both ways, but really learning how to create some type of sustainable daily routine, um, as far as my exercise goes, has probably been key. And the key word is sustainable. Um, so, like, I have a little regimen on my ball, I have little weights, and then I got my dog. So, between the three of them, and I'm trying to incorporate some yoga in the morning when I do my devotional, but yeah, I agree with you, Tina. Turning that phone off, shutting off notifications. Most mornings I don't even open up my blinds until I'm done my devotional and I found a 7-minute yoga thing. So that kind of seems to work if I do those like low impact stretch things in the morning. And then the rest of the day, I'm like, okay, God, whatever you got for me, I'm ready. I'll do whatever. And, you know, flexible.
No, I set out a time in the morning. That's why I do it in the morning, because anything after the morning time, I know that I will not do it. So I try to do it first thing in the morning.
Yeah,
and usually that's when I'm not being bothered. Nobody calls me or something. So that's why I set out that time.
that's very smart. You kind of got to outsmart everyone else. Those that you know are going to be bugging you, like, I know they'll be asleep at this time. Let me get up and do what I want to do for me. Or in Laura's case, I know you tend to do your stuff at night when everyone else is asleep. So we're going to go into lesson 2. Feel empowered to say no. N-O, period. No N-O. I need an explanation. If you want to give an explanation, that's okay. But I just want you all, just first and foremost, to feel empowered just to say no if that's what you feel like saying, or if that's your answer. Because as women and as caregivers, we are often expected to say yes. It doesn't matter who it's from. Even when it comes to food, I want you to feel empowered to say no, even if someone offers you food. We go to family events or gatherings with friends and things like that, and we want to make them feel good. We never want to make anyone feel bad. So sometimes we will tend to say yes if someone's offering us some food that we might have given up for Lent, or we might have stopped eating since the last time we saw them because we have these new goals. It could be a food, or it can be treats or anything like that. But if you have this new goal and maybe you're cutting something out of your diet, or you are cutting back and you've already, say you had your treat for the day and someone's offering something, it's okay to say no. So here's some ways to say no, but be kind and hopefully not make the other person feel bad. You can say, thanks, but I've already ate. That could be something you can say to them, let them know, like, hey, I don't want this now, but another time. You can also say, I appreciate you offering, but no thank you. And again, I've already eaten, I already ate, however you want to say it. I found this one funny because my grandma, she's not living anymore, but every time we would go to her house, she would always offer us food. Always, always, always. And there was no. Like, even if you said no, she's like, here you go, here's a whole plate. And I guess that's just a grandmother thing to do, which is funny. But that was just her nature. But feel empowered to say no if that's not your goal. Even with alcohol, I know one of you mentioned that you had given that up for one of these months, and you might go around friends and they're not on that same page at that time, which is okay. Then it's okay to say no. Or do you have like a seltzer water or something that's non-alcohol, or fizzy water? I'm just not doing this at this time for whatever reason. And then feel empowered to share with them that reason, that you're not eating this treat, or you're not drinking alcohol at the moment. Or if it's not food related, if it's exercise, like, hey, I have this scheduled this time. Maybe invite them to come with you if you're going to go work out at a time that they want to maybe go to the movies. Hey, let's go to the movies after we do the workout. Or if I go to the movies with you this time, let's schedule a walk together later. Kind of have that balance and that give and take. Do you feel obligated to give up your workout time? And why? Even do a food related one as well. Do you feel obligated to say yes when someone offers you food? Take that 2 minutes and then we'll talk about it. Okay. Do you feel obligated to give up your workout time and why? If you do. If not, you can share why you feel empowered to not do so. Who would like to share?
And I do not feel obligated to give up my workout time because it's my time. And I want to, my end result is to get to my weight goal. So I don't give up my workout time. And if I have something else planned where I'm not able to work out at that time, I make sure that I work out before I go to bed, but I don't give up my workout time.
Perfect. Good for you. Glad you have that.
I put down, I'm learning to put myself and my workout first or prioritize exercise in my daily schedule. As far as eating or drinking, I ask for a to-go container if I don't want what they're offering at that time. It respects the offer and fulfills the giver's need to give. During COVID, that's how I fulfilled my need to give. Was I would cook for my mother-in-law and for my sister-in-law, for my husband and my son, and I would make up to-go content, make this big pot of whatever it was, and then take it to people, and that like fulfilled one, my loneliness during COVID, and also just the need to give. And I think sometimes we forget that, like our grandmothers, there's not a whole lot when you're aging that you have or that you feel like you have left to give. And so like accepting their food is like accepting or not accepting a hug to them. I don't know. That's just my take on it.
No, thank you, Sue. That's a great perspective and a good take and a great idea as well. And then Christina also said so. She put it in the chat that that's a great idea, having like a to-go, taking it to go and saying, I'm not going to eat it right now, but I'll eat it later, which is great. And like you said, having that perspective too, because I didn't think about that person's need to give. So everyone's needs are still being fulfilled. You're not eating their food right now. Maybe you want to do that later. But either way, you're still helping them by allowing them to give you something that they're wanting to give you. Beautiful. Did you have anything, Laura?
I just got a little bit here. Some of the ideas that both Christina and Sue, their firmness to, I agree with, and I was like, okay, yeah, I should do that. I should reschedule my time if it gets pushed away for wanting to help the other. I will frequently be weighing my options and say which is better to do, and that's a trait of my own, I guess. And that's a little bit of the insecurity that I have, even as I'm secure in a lot of things. It's like, well, I don't want to be hurting other people's feelings and not doing with them what they're asking or things of that nature. So I need to change that and say, well, I have this going on, but I'm available later for this. Or if it's only this time or not at all, either give it up or don't do it, don't go with them, or don't do it. But get my own time rescheduled, and then to maintain that schedule, to get to it, whether it's midnight or not. Which is, well, Laura, you got to do this, but I can't take a walk at midnight. I shouldn't take a walk at midnight. I should be going to bed. But, you can do your workout before you go to bed. That's okay. But the other things that were said by both Christina and Sue were very good points. So that's my extent of what my contribution is this time.
Thanks, Laura. It is hard. It's hard, like Sue said, and Laura, you guys, you're wanting to spend that time with people, because as we all know, especially coming out of COVID, it's like life, tomorrow isn't promised. So you get that in your head, like this person wants to do this with me, and you want to be there for them. You want to spend that time. But then you also are like, I have to have this time for me. I'm needing this time because I'm over here doing all these other things for everyone else. So it is very hard. It's difficult sometimes to say no or to come back to your time. But it's just like a muscle. You just got to work it and figure out what works for you and find that balance in between the two. Every decision is going to be the right decision every single time. Because I'm like you, Laura, I have that thing like, oh, I don't want no one's feelings to be hurt. I'm going to feel bad. But then once I find myself, once I do all those things and spend time with people, at the end of the day, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm drained. I should have taken this time for myself. But I mean, you live and you learn, right?
Life's practice for heaven. Like that's how I look at it. It's like, if I can be kind to myself, it's much easier for me to be kind and gentle towards others. But I also have to be, true to myself. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'm not being true to others either. So it's kind of like, there's always a win-win, but it's kind of trying to figure out like, well, what am I supposed to learn from this? Like if I didn't feel good about it after the, transaction with the person or whatever. So it's, I think Earth is just a practice for us to hone some of our skills, and whether it's eating or exercising, not that those things aren't important, but I think our relationships, need to be forefront in a lot more of our decisions. I don't know if that makes sense to everybody, but it's really hard to practice being true to you. And Laura, I commend you, because I think you've come out of the gates of retirement. Like you signed up for pickleball right away. You wanted to go do all of this stuff and everything. And you encouraged me by some of the things. You're just like getting things all lined up on your schedule and da 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 da. So, and I know you understand when I say I can't go or do something, but I'm still waiting for you to tell me what movie you want to go to for your birthday, for pity's sakes.
Okay, we'll talk later. Definitely.
That's funny, because I know about that too. I remember you saying you're going to go to a movie. So yes, let us know what movie you guys decide to go see.
Gotcha.
You're on the hook now, Laura.
I am, definitely.
All right, so we're gonna go into our last lesson: stretching yourself thin. We gotta stop doing that because I know I am. I always do that. I can't even. There's no way around that. I always stretch myself too thin. I'm working on it. I'm getting better at it. And it sets you up for unrealistic goals and expectations when you stretch yourself too thin. You think you can be at all these events, spend time with all these people, but then at what expense? At the end of the day, if you're going to be tired, exhausted, and you can't do for you and fill your own cup, is it really a good idea to do that? And eventually it could cause chronic fatigue, which is a real thing. There's chronic illnesses and whatnot, but chronic fatigue is one of them. And it's more common among women. And according to Mayo Clinic, it's an extreme fatigue that lasts at least 6 months. So I'm going to share with you guys some of the symptoms, and I don't want you to be a hypochondriac and self-diagnose right now. I'm just sharing information so then that way we can kind of look out for these kinds of things and make sure we're not overextending ourselves. So some symptoms are extreme exhaustion after physical or mental exercise. So we exercise to get energy, not to lose it or deplete it. So if you're feeling you exercise and you're just like more exhausted, then that could be a symptom. Problems with memory or thinking skills. Exercise also helps with that as well. And also getting a healthy diet helps with thinking and memory. But if you're lacking that for 6 months or more, that's a symptom. Dizziness that worsens with moving from laying down or sitting to standing. So if you're finding yourself dizzy with your everyday movements, that's one. Muscle or joint pain. So if you're exercising and you get that muscle soreness after working out, but if it's chronic and if it's lasting for a long time and your muscles always feel sore, then that's a flag. Joint pain. And also unrefreshing sleep. You can sleep for 8 to 10 hours, but if you wake up and you still feel groggy, like you didn't sleep and maybe only got like a 3 to 4 hour night of sleep, that is also a sign and a symptom as well. So with that being said, how do we overcome fatigue, or taking that on another level, how do we just overcome overextending ourselves? So one of the things is self-care, healthy eating, and exercise. Even meditation is doing that. But before we get to all those things, we have to, again, be our biggest advocate. We have to learn how to say no. We have to learn how to prioritize our days a little bit better. And again, this is not for perfection. Some days are going to be busy. That's just because that's how it is sometimes. But within that week, try to carve some time out for yourself, for your own self-care, and whatever you want that to look or feel like, envision it at the beginning of the week and try to achieve that for yourself. This is when we have to rely and fall back on our accountability partners. Maybe we need to touch base with them and let them know, like, hey, I'm not doing really well this week. I'm overextending myself. I'm feeling very tired. I feel like my cup is depleting and I haven't really got the exercise I want. I haven't been eating too well. Can you kick me in the butt? Like, give me some help here. Let me know, or just vent to them, whatever it is that you need to do. So then that way you can get back to that joy that you're maybe missing that week or that day, whatever it is for you. Did anyone have any comments about that? Like that stretching yourself too thin before we go into our journal prompt?
Was there anything in that article about caffeine or energy, type substances that,
like energy drinks?
yeah, that
So for this one, they didn't really touch on that, but I can speak on that. And again, this is not like a medical thing, but caffeine and energy drinks, they help to kind of lift you up, but just know that when they do lift you up, they can bring you down and kind of lower than where you were before. So then you have to kind of watch out for what drinks you're drinking. So if you're doing like lattes and caffeinated drinks, a lot of times they're filled with a lot of sugar in them, and that
Right.
sugar is what spikes your energy levels up, your blood sugar, and then you'll have that drop. And the drop can be pretty hard sometimes depending on how much sugar is in that drink. So be mindful of that. So if you are excuse me, looking for like a pick me up and maybe you're on your second or third cup, maybe opt in for black coffee or sugar free additive in that. So then that way you're not getting that drop and that spike in that blood sugar. Because then that will in turn make you feel groggy and tired and just further perpetuate that cycle that you're trying to get out of from drinking the caffeine. Did that answer your question, Sue?
Yeah, because I mean, I used caffeine for many years, and then I realized when I retired, I I started doing well even before I retired. I started doing like a green tea in the morning with a energy drink, a fizz energy drink with my green
Mm-hmm.
tea. And that was my compromise. Like, okay, I'm doing the green tea, but I still need something to sweeten it up a little bit. So, anyways, I've been doing that for like 10 years instead of caffeine. And I really notice a big difference when I have a cup of coffee, whether it's black or with cream. I'm totally not sugar anymore with my coffee, but I'm more concerned for my 29-year-old son who, you know, he walks around. I said, that cup of coffee, your little coffee carrier is like your baby bottle. Like I don't ever see you without that. We were in the middle of Lake Michigan last year, and he's holding his coffee cup. I go, why did you bring your coffee cup out into the water? We're supposed to be running and chasing waves. And
Oh
but
gosh.
speaking of chasing, it's kind of chasing that next pick me up.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And anyways, okay, I'll just get off my soapbox here.
No, that's a good point. Caffeine, some people are actually addicted to caffeine and your body gets used to it eventually. So then when you stop using it, your body has to rework that out of its system. And then you have to work on using, well, getting sleep and drinking more water. So then that way you're not having that groggy feeling in the morning and I need caffeine. So it's a good point. Christina, you had a question or you wanted to make a comment?
Oh, I just wanted to make a comment about the stop stretching yourself thin. I had to set boundaries, especially with my daughter, with my grandsons.
Mm,
So I a lot of stuff in the past year or so I've had to say no to. Like they went to a jumping thing over the weekend and I said no, I'm not going. And that's what I do now because before I would go to everything she invites me to, or she always wants me to watch the kids, and then I find myself tired and it takes me like 2 days to recover. So I had to start setting boundaries for
no, good
myself.
for you.
Yeah,
Good for
yeah.
you.
Even though I love my grandsons to death, but I had to start setting boundaries.
So let's go into our last and final journal prompt. Will you reach your fitness goals if you keep giving up your time? Why or why not? And again, you can replace fitness with self-care, you can replace that with nutrition, whatever it is. If you keep giving in to other people or other things, are you going to reach your fitness goals? We're going to take 2 minutes, write that out, jot your thoughts down, and then we will come back in 2 minutes and talk about it. A little less than a minute, ladies. All right. Will you reach your fitness goals if you keep giving up your time? Why or why not? Who would like to share?
Well, here I go first, okay? I'm going to blab as I just go along because I don't have a whole lot here, but yet they won't reach my weight loss or exercise goals if it's not at the front of my mind to think about this and make it a priority for myself and think of myself first. I have to remember that I got myself to take care of first. And I have found when I've said things to others that I'm doing this or doing that, and they're proud of me for having done that, whether it's siblings or children and friends, regardless, that, okay, well, I'm doing this. And so, well, that's good for you. I'm glad you are. So they are giving me positive feedback as opposed to, well, you shouldn't be doing that, because they know it's something that I've been trying for years. I haven't lost my baby weight, baby gain weight. And that kid 29 now. So I have no excuse after all these years, but I've just been busy and busy and busy. A lot of that was work. Now it's not there, but still you want to go and do other things. I want to go do this or do that. And they might be things that I want to do, but I still have to remember to fit in this exercise, which right now is my pickleball and doing those things. But this actual weight exercise plan that we're supposed to write down my schedule, well, it might help if I just said, well, I'm going to do this and this and this. I haven't even done that. So that's kind of something that's bad, but their family and friends in the end have been supportive of me doing things, and that's helpful. So I will meet those if I have the continued, I can meet those if I remember to put myself first. So that's my take on this.
So what, Laura, my question to you is, what are you needing to help put yourself first? Like, do you need it on your schedule and on your list, or do you need an advocate, someone to kind of remind you and nudge you a little bit?
I don't know. I've had people nudge me, go, yeah, okay. And so I kind of take the passive aggressive, I guess is what it is. They want them to do it, but yet, well, okay. And then it's deflate their need. I guess could be there too, but I'm not their need to encourage me. Or not their need, they want to encourage me and them to do it. And I go, well, okay, fine. And sometimes I guess it's a little bit passive aggressive, but I need to put reminders for myself on things like the mirror in the bathroom or the fridge or the cupboards in the kitchen. And did you do this yet? And of that nature, above and beyond the pickleball, because I've got that into a thing and I want to go and do, I'm taking time with the food and consciously figuring out what I'm eating. But it's reminders, I guess, I would be what I need to do, put up and around. And if people are going to do the gentle reminders to me, I have to not be so, lackadaisical and so forget it. So did that answer the question? I hope. I don't know if I evaluated myself well or not.
No, you did. You did. Okay. I was going to say, maybe pick, again, I always go back to one thing. We got to keep it super simple. So if you want to do the reminders, work on doing reminders. Because I remember 4 months ago, was it December, January, February, March? Oh my goodness. I can't believe it's been 4 months. So 4 months ago, I remember when we first started, you were talking about pickleball, and now you actually have that into a routine. So kudos to you. So maybe now, since you got that into your routine And if you're trying to add something else, it's just give yourself that time and that grace to do that as well. Cause I remember I need to go do pickleball. And now you're just like, oh, I did pickleball. Oh, I did pickleball. Like you're doing it, which is awesome. And we all know Laura's doing her pickleball because it's a part of your routine now and your habit. So I know you mentioned your healthy eating. So if that's something that you're trying to do, maybe pick one meal. So if it's lunch, maybe pick one meal I don't know if you're counting calories or you're doing your macros, pick that one meal to figure out and then stick with that one meal and master that and then go from there. So it's not so much because it can get so overwhelming.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I do it every meal, or I'm consciously thinking, what are you taking for a snack, Laura? No, you shouldn't have these veggie straws, but they are better than just chips, Laura. But maybe you should have something different. Go get the fruit and, but I need the crunchiness. So, it's getting one thing, one meal, and they'll be conscious of the other ones, but to really be mindful of one specific one would be a good idea. So thank you.
Try that and let us know how it goes.
Okay.
Thank you, Laura.
Yep.
Sue, did you have something?
Well, I'm just going to read what I wrote. I put down, I'll probably continue to give in to my husband and son more than my extended family and friends. But learning or creating a routine in the AM or late PM is working for now. I like to walk late at night or early in the morning. I like to go to bed between 1 and 2. But anyways, sometimes you might, if you're driving in my neighborhood, between 11 and 2 a.m., you might see this lady with a blue, it's like almost a Smurf colored blue robe with my hood on because it's really warm. So anyways, I'm known as the lady in the blue robe.
I have to come and look for that lady.
That sounds like a movie. Like this lady just walks in a blue robe.
I'll come and stake out your house, dear. Wait for this.
And then I put down learning to own why my fitness goals are a priority and following through. And Teena, you mentioned something about just doing one thing at a time. And like I have been struggling to get back in like keeping track of the food I'm eating. And I'd like to think at the end of the day, oh, I didn't eat that much today. But once you start putting it in, and if I just do one meal a day, like get back to doing one meal a day. And that's what I'm doing with my yoga. If I just do 7 minutes after I do my devotional, because I already have that. Like I think you called it habit stacking. I already have that habit established. So if I can add that 7 minutes of yoga, because really that is kind of exercise and meditation, and it's not hurting, but I have had with these changes of weather, like joint pain and stuff, muscle and joint pain. And when I sometimes I think, oh, I got a great night's sleep, but this Fitbit man thing is like an awesome accountability gardener.
Perfect. Thank you, Sue. Christina, did you have anything before we close it out?
No, just boundaries. It just ties in the boundaries. As long as I, work out in the morning and I don't have any distractions, I'm good.
Perfect. Saying no to those grandbabies.
Yes, even though I love them.
Good stuff, ladies. Thank you so much for sharing. We're going to go into start closing it out and set you guys up for next week. So a couple of things are changing. So word of the week. Word of the week is value. It's importance, worth, or usefulness of something or someone, aka yourself. So don't forget that your time is valuable and that you are important, and your time is your time for a reason. So try not to let people trump that. So affirmation of the week, we're going to do more of a prompt. So this week, I want you to write down and it's so funny, Laura mentioned this earlier, write down your workout schedule for the week. Write it down. Don't change your workout schedule. This is going to be a challenge unless it's absolutely necessary. So again, we want to keep it simple. Do one thing. So if Laura, yours cannot be pickleball. You already got that on lock.
L. Okay.
So if you're trying to establish a new habit, this is the time to do it. We're going to work on these little challenges each week. So this time, write down something that you're wanting to implement, put that in your schedule, and I challenge you to not let anything or anyone trump that. And again, it could be your nutrition, something that you're trying to work on with your nutrition. So just write that down and then go from there. So that's your challenge for the week, ladies. And then next week, we're going to talk about being unapologetically active. So that could encompass anything, because I've seen some different ways of movement. So we're going to talk about that next week. And maybe it might spark an idea for you to go out and try these different forms of movement too. All right, ladies. Thank you again for joining me. I will see you guys next week, same time, 11:15 a.m. Again, you know what to do. Scan the QR code to invite someone else, or just to keep that link for yourself and invite another sister friend. And thank you so much for your time. You guys have a great rest of the week.